The great poet Sir Mix-a-Lot once said, "My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun." This video of these delicious dinner rolls is part of my 2021 Thanksgiving series. If you haven't seen the rest of them, I'll drop a link. I think it's going to be up there. It might be up there or somewhere. There's going to be a thing to go to the playlist. I suggest you do it. There's a bunch of good recipes. Check them out. Now, let's get on to the new stuff. So it's the holidays. You got a plate full of food with gravy. You need something to sop that gravy up. I got the perfect thing for you. These dinner rolls we're going to make today are absolutely mind-blowing. Like, blah! They're so good. Take a little bit of effort, but totally worth it. I guarantee you that. So let's get it done. We're going to start off by scalding 2 cups of whole milk. So in a medium saucepan, get your milk in there, medium-high heat. We're going to just bring this to a boil till it just starts to foam. You don't want to let it go too far or it will burn, and that's no good. You got to start over. See, it's foamy, sort of through the blurry lack of focus. Anyway, we're going to transfer this into a bowl that's sitting in an ice bath. So, large bowl with ice and water, small bowl, pour the milk in. This way it cools down. Otherwise, it takes forever, and cooling it down quickly it works better. Trust me on this. So, in that measuring cup, there was 1/2 cup of just plain water. We're going to add our milk to it, and we're going to adjust our temperature so it's between 100 and 110 degrees. You do not want to go over 110 degrees or it will kill the yeast. That would be not good at all. So get your yeast in there. That's 2 packets of instant yeast, or 14 grams if you're measuring out of a bottle. Just going to stir it so it gets moist. It'll get creamy on its own, and then it'll be perfect. So mix it up. Set it to the side. In the bowl of our stand mixer, 1,050 grams of all-purpose flour. We're going to add to that 110 grams of sugar, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, and then this is completely optional, 1/8 teaspoon of diastatic malt powder. This is an enzyme that helps convert starch to sugar and helps with the browning color, makes it a little bit sweeter in flavor. Completely optional, sometimes hard to find. But there is a link down in the description below in my Amazon affiliates link. Get the hook on your stand mixer, start it off at a slow speed, and we're going to drizzle in 2 tablespoons of melted butter. This butter was melted while I did while I scorched the milk. You don't want it screaming hot, so if you do it a few minutes ahead of time and let it sit, the temperature will neutralize and it'll be easier to work with. If this is screaming hot, it could potentially kill your yeast. You don't want that. So once that's been dispersed fairly well through your flour, we're going to add 2 whole liquid chickens. Plop, plop. And then we're going to add our milk, yeast, water, slurry mix into the bowl. Drop the hook down. Start off on low speed. Adjust speed as necessary. So you're not flicking flour out of the bowl and not overtaxing the motor on your stand mixer. And you're going to let this go until it fully combines and it's no longer sticking to the sides of the bowl. Just like that. And by the looks of this, I think I need a bigger stand mixer. Almost time to upgrade. We're going to turn that out onto a lightly floured work surface. And we're going to knead it a few times just to make sure there's no clumps of anything. Plus, kneading dough feels good. I don't know why, it just makes me happy. Wrap it into a tight little ball. And then we're going to transfer this into a large bowl that has been sprayed with cooking spray, because you don't want the bowl to stick to the dough, or vice versa. Then I'm going to spray a little cooking spray on top, and then we're going to cover it with plastic wrap. Then we're going to put it into a warm place to rise for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. The warmer your locale, the shorter time the rise will take, the colder, the longer. I'm in Florida, so things like this happen where it just goes shoom and blows up, which is fine. That's fine. We're going to punch that excess air out. Excessively punch that excess air out. Now, we got to measure this out. So what I do is I have a food scale. If you don't have one, invest in one. They're cheap and totally worthwhile. I put a bowl in, I tare it or zero it out so the bowl weight doesn't get counted. Then I take the entire weight of the dough in grams, because grams are easier to divide. Divide it by 40 because this batch makes 40 rolls, and that's the individual weight of each piece. And then I weigh out, cut and weigh out each piece. So I have 40 perfectly even rolls. You can eyeball this if you like. I am not good at that, so I use measures because accuracy is key. So once you have all of your dough portioned, I do half at a time. I do 20 on a sheet pan, then so that's how I do it. Anyway, make sure you have constant contact with your fingers to the board. Apply slight pressure to the dough and just go in a circle, and you will end up with a perfectly shaped sphere. Look at that. Going to move that over to a sheet pan that has parchment paper on it. Don't have to grease between the parchment and the rolls, so don't spray it. There's actually spray under the parchment just so the parchment stays put. So put a little spray, put the parchment down, then just put your rolls directly onto the parchment paper. We're going to cover it in plastic wrap, and then we're going to let it proof for about 20 minutes. While it's proofing, it's a good time to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. Google it, all right? You're going to let that proof, and then after the 20 minutes, we have plump little rolls, or rollettes, roll seeds. We'll call them dinner roll seeds. We're going to spray it with just plain water, clean spray bottle. I use this just for spraying food stuff, so I clean it out between each use. But just spray it, that will help crustify the top. 15 to 18 minutes in that 375 degree oven, and then this is what we're left with. These beautiful, fragrant, pillowy, soft, amazing dinner rolls. But we need to make these a little bit more delicious. They're not delicious enough yet, so we will apply with a brush some melted butter. That's about a half a cup of butter. I'm sorry, a quarter of a cup of butter, because it's a half a stick. And just brush it on the top. That's it. They are now perfect, delicious, and we need to stuff them in our face. Look at that. Glistening, buttery, beautiful, delicious. Holy shit. That's good. Now, just for science, I slathered this one down in some high-quality butter. Let's see how that is for science. That's good. So these rolls are absolutely amazing. Try them out, share them with your family, or eat them all yourself. I'm not going to judge you, and no one else should. If you make this, let me know how it came out. Drop that down in the comments. If you want to see me make something, I take requests. Drop that down in the comments. If you think I suck, drop that down in the comments. But do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to do that, and smash that like button. It's very important. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next one.